Recorded live.
Special night, special time. And Damian Nelson here along with Dave Hero, the Kaz, Frank Costantino. Kaz, welcome back. We haven't seen you in about a minute.
I'm back.
And the man they call Meathead and the Skull Crusher, Rashi Brown, all geared up in his ROH gear tonight. Looking good, looking good. So much to talk about, including our special guest joining us in the second hour, Val Venus. Formerly Val Venus of WWE, Sean Morley, is going to talk politics with me.
Not with me.
That's what I said, with me.
Yeah.
What kind of politics?
Well, he tends to like the elephants, and I tend to like donkeys.
He's a fruitarian, you know.
I don't even know what that is.
Wait, you guys just see that? Obviously, the listeners couldn't see it, but Meathead just popped out from underneath the table.
There's a Golden Girls reference there. So much to talk about. We are going to be taking your calls live in the AirTran Airlines phone zone. The number 276-ESPN, 276-3776, or all over the world at 1-800-990-ESPN, 1-800-990-ESPN. Lots to talk about, and we'll start with this past Sunday's WWE Extreme Rules on pay-per-view. And what I first want to do is go around the table and get a summary statement from each of you as to your thoughts on that pay-per-view, the Extreme Night from WWE. We'll start with you, David the Hero.
I thought it was a great pay-per-view. I thought it was exciting. I thought the matches were actually fairly decent. And how exciting is it that Sheamus,
with the whistle,
and your world champion, Jack Swagger,
with no whistle,
were able to go over on the top two guys in the company with clean finishes?
Kaz, your thoughts?
The Jack Swagger era has begun.
Thank you, Kaz.
This is where he's got his opportunity to take it to the next level. All depends on what WWE wants to do. It's up to the fans, you, to make that happen. But his turn is now, and let's see what happens in the next few months.
Wait, his time is now?
Turn.
Trouble.
Turn.
His turn.
And the man they call Meathead, your thoughts on this past Sunday's WWE Extreme Rules on pay-per-view?
You know, I'm going to go ahead and kind of echo what Dave said, what Frank said, and what Rashi's about to say. By the way, Rashi Brown, the Skull Crusher, is here. I'm going to echo what they said, and it is nice to see. Yeah. It is nice to see Jack Swagger go over instead of losing consistently week after week on TV, losing and looking bad. It's nice to see Sheamus dominate Triple H. He dominated him. It's
Swagger
nice to see.
And Sheamus. You know, I can see those two guys headlining WrestleMania sometime.
I can.
Didn't I hear that 6 months ago from somebody? Rashi Brown, your thoughts from what you know of WWE Extreme Rules on pay-per-view?
What I know is what I've just heard, so I'm going to have to agree with everybody.
Here's my question, though. As you are a Ring of Honor superstar, were you recently fined as well for chair shots? That was breaking news today. 4 superstars from Ring of Honor are getting fined for using chair shots in their matches.
I know I got hit with a chair this weekend.
So your guy might have got fined.
Not only this weekend, I believe you were
fined?
featured on Ring of Honor on HD Net this past Monday night as well.
I don't know. You tell me about it.
How do you not even know when you're on?
Some
he's
places
always
in
on.
this country, we don't have satellite, so I can't see it.
Thank you to all of you listening all over the world at pwrshow.com and participating live in the chatmosphere at pwrshow.com. Let's talk about the main matchups, the important matchups from this past Sunday's Extreme Rules pay-per-view. And, David Hero, you started to talk about it, so let's just go there. The first of your 2 superstars, let's talk about Jack Swagger versus Randy Orton, where Jack Swagger defeated Randy Orton clean in the center of the ring.
Once again, when Jack Swagger is given time in a match, it's solid. They're good matches. He does well. He keeps up with the guys. He's kept up with John Cena. He's kept up with Triple H. Now he's kept up with Randy Orton. And it just goes to show you that obviously the company sees something in Jack Swagger when they have Randy Orton lay down clean from just one finish. And Jack Swagger goes over.
Let me tell you, Jack Swagger's he's a good kid. He likes to listen. He likes to learn, and I can understand why they want to get behind him. I like his work. I like everything he does. I don't like his ring gear. It doesn't fit what his persona is. That's the only knock I have on him. He should dress appropriate.
So you're saying the All-American American shouldn't be dressed like an All-American American?
Well, he's not.
He's not dressed like an All-American American.
He's wearing, what is it, singlet? Or they call those...
Well, they're not leotards.
Singlet.
Okay, but, I mean, he's in wrestling gear.
Yeah,
Red, white, and blue
but
wrestling gear.
No, he doesn't wear red, white, and blue wrestling gear all
Not all the time.
the time. So,
You guys are you
this is a
trying to
fashion
start
show?
No, not at all. I love
kidding
sitting
me?
back and just letting that happen.
Really?
Don't start with me, man.
Who?
You.
The eyes got
Hey, it's early.
That's okay.
You want to be
It's
dead?
still daylight out, and we still have a lot to talk about WWE Extreme Rules.
Someone get Rashi a pizza. That way he'll calm down.
And WWE releasing 7 talents, the draft from this past Monday night, and so much more. This is the award-winning Pro Wrestling Report on 540 ESPN and ESPNMilwaukee.com.
Subscribe to a podcast from your favorite show today at ESPNMilwaukee.com.
Welcome back to the Pro Wrestling Report on 540 ESPN and streaming live at ESPNMilwaukee.com and PWRshow.com. We're live Wednesday, April 28th, 2010. Special day, special time. We're in prime time on the radio.
And it's light outside.
It is. We can see all the happenings
And
here at the
when
540
we're leaving,
ESPN
we still don't
studios.
have to be a skirt of our, life. Or skirt for ourselves.
I'm never scared.
I'm a skirt a lot.
I'm here with you, moron.
Damian
I'll
Nelson.
walk you to your car from now on, all right?
Thank you, sir.
Damian Nelson, the Kaz, the man they call Meathead, Dave Hero, and Skull Crusher Rashi Brown here with you live. We're talking about WWE Extreme Rules, and we want to hear what you have to say about it. You can call us live, the number 276-ESPN, 276-3776, or all over the world at 1-800-990-ESPN. That's 1-800-990-3776. The conversation's also going on in the chatmosphere at PWRshow.com, and you can also follow us on Twitter and interact with us that way. Frank loves to be tweeted.
Frank had a person tweet him down the road. I think, isn't that what happened to you? Somebody came over and tweeted you?
He was down in
That's right.
Chicago tweeting today.
I was in my favorite part of town. Good
You're-
stuff there.
Down in Old Town?
And what part of town is that, Frank?
Old Town. That's where,
Is that a district that you were in,
that's where the
Frank?
mobsters
No.
hang out.
No, me and Sinatra, we're close.
WWE Extreme Rules, Meathead, Jack Swagger, and Randy Orton. Randy Orton laid down for Jack Swagger.
Well, I mean, not in a literal sense, but yeah, in a literal sense. Randy Orton had to do
Will you
that.
stop with the circular talk? Sweet God. Well, not in a literal sense, but yeah, in a literal sense.
When's his contract up, by the way?
Oh, there will be no negotiations.
Oh, thank you.
Yep.
I love Kelly Holcomb.
You know-
I know he will start.
Anyway,
Ever since he became not a true heel, he's had a really rough go of it lately, hasn't he?
I hated being right about it. I didn't sit here and, dedicate a whole portion of the show to make sure people knew that I knew that Pope wasn't going to be in the main event, or make sure that people
We'll
knew
get
that.
to that.
Yeah. My point being that it was great to see Randy Orton and Jack Swagger be given, as Dave Hero said, time. Jack Swagger, even though Rashi says he's not wearing all-American gear all the time,
Made in Mexico.
Live your gimmick, boy.
here's the thing. Here's the thing, and we got to wrap this up because apparently I'm just starting to
The only thing
stammer.
we're waiting for is for you to get to your points. What do you mean we got to wrap this up?
Jack Swagger looked good, and, the only problem I have with his entrance is everybody else is doing that now, that slow, methodical walk to the ring. I don't like it.
That's what heels do, right?
Not every heel.
True heels.
Miz doesn't.
Does he have it all?
The Miz? Yeah, absolutely.
Not the Miz.
No, the Miz is about 30 pounds light this week, at least.
Hey, we'll talk about that when we get to the draft. Stop. Kaz, your question.
My thought on Jack Swagger is you've got to have all the tools to be champion. As far as charisma, mic skills.
He doesn't have mic
You're
skills
saying
yet.
he needs to be a five-tool player.
No, I'm asking if he has it all yet.
No, I mean, I'm trying to make a sports, analogy there. Does he have to be a five-tool player?
Well, I don't know. It's up to the fans to make this happen. We can say what he's missing.
Frank, you're wrong. It's up to us
It is up to us.
because we tell the fans what they want to do.
Oh,
Wow,
no,
the Deva over there.
That's Dave Hero.
No, the Deva. He's not a diva. He's a
Yeah,
Deva.
he is a Deva.
Next matchup
Deva something.
would be Sheamus versus Triple H. Now, we all know, as we talked about earlier, chair shots not so popular in the wrestling industry right now. However, you can have a policy against chair shots, yet you can take a kendo stick and just about decapitate a man, and that's okay. Triple H versus Sheamus. Sheamus walking out strong. Kaz, your thoughts?
I don't know if this is another page in the Sheamus book as far as pushing him forward. He's getting another shot. I don't know if you guys agree with me or disagree.
Agree.
But he's close. But he's missing something, too, and I can't put my finger on it yet.
Skin pigmentation.
But as far as in-ring skills, I think he's pretty good there. The mic skills are getting better. He's missing something, and I haven't put my finger on it yet.
I think he's missing the fact that he's not a ring general. He can't lead a match yet. And as a heel, that's one quality that you really, really need.
And isn't that why it's perfect, though, for him to be working with Trips?
Exactly. Who better to work with than the guy you work out with? You know what I mean? He's going on a vacation. He's hurt. He's injured. Why not make Sheamus look good, right?
Absolutely. It's just good business for everybody.
Yeah.
Because then when Triple H comes back, he'll be a hotter babyface. By then, Sheamus
what do you mean
will get
comes
a lot more
back?
And then he can take
some time
Sheamus' belt off of him at SummerSlam,
Sure. Let me ask you this, though, Dave, to kind of take off of your point there. Isn't it odd to find the company finally doing good business for everybody?
Well,
I mean,
right now on paper
recently,
it's good business, but everything could change pretty quick.
Well, that's what I'm saying, though. That's not been their MO. That hasn't been the way they've been doing things for a while.
Keep in point, in the summer, if they do what they've done in the past, they kind of try things out because viewership is down a little bit. So I think it was CM Punk a couple of years ago when he became champion during the summertime, and then it didn't push forward till the fall. So they might be trying some things, and then with
that was Randy
SmackDown.
Orton's first title run too. Was in the summer.
Yeah,
his first one he got kicked out of Evolution.
I tell you what, this was a good matchup, and it was a matchup where I liked what they did because it did not just stop at Extreme Rules. It carried over to Raw the next night, and we got a lot of Sheamus during the WWE Draft, and I don't think there's a problem with that.
The only thing I'm having a problem with Sheamus right now is he's got to stop saying fella. Look here, fella.
No, it's like William Regal saying sunshine. It's perfect.
Look here, fella.
He is
I'll put the
being who he
beating on
is.
you.
That's who he is.
I'll put the beating on you, fella.
Next matchup, John Cena versus Batista, and the special guest enforcer for that match, duct tape. Dave Hero, your thoughts?
You know what? When I first saw the duct tape, I was like, oh, this is stupid. It's ridiculous. But you know what? It made a lot of sense.
24 hours later?
By duct taping Batista's feet around the ring post so he can't get up the last man standing match, it just makes it look that, okay, if Batista's going to be written off, at least they can still bring him back. And you know what? Batista was never going to be knocked out for a 10 count in his hometown of Washington, D.C.
Not only not knocked out, it made him still look, well, I guess he was taken down by duct tape, and he was wrapped up. But, at that point where it was woozy or whatever, Cena got the duct tape on him. Doesn't that still keep him a little strong? I mean, you know what?
It's just a nice
At
way
least the shadow of doubt in there.
Well, yeah, I mean, he wasn't technically knocked out for
Correct.
a 10 count.
Correct.
It was a good screw job finish for Batista, which, if anything, brings more heat on him because now they can make fun of him being tied up with duct tape.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
that's the idea.
You know what that's like, Meat.
That was a party a long time ago. It was someone else's bachelor party. Don't ask.
They give him options when he comes back, and it's smart business.
A match that didn't necessarily deliver this past Sunday at WWE Extreme Rules was the steel cage match between Edge and Chris Jericho. Two great performers. Obviously, Chris Jericho, a great performer. Yet, it seemed as if there was something missing from this matchup. And I'm not going to say blood like everybody else because you didn't need that. However, that was seemingly what you advertised when you say it's Extreme Rules pay-per-view. But with the matches these two have had in the past and this match going into it, something was missing. There was an element not there, and I really don't know what it was.
It was Chris Jericho's brain. That's what was missing. Meathead,
again?
Your favorite wrestler was pretty stupid.
Explain.
He was out of the cage. He was out. He won the match, and he had to go back in again.
How many times do we see that, though, in cage matches? Isn't that part of the storytelling you talk about?
Not that far out of the cage. Not where you're like a foot from stepping out and winning.
Also, I mean, didn't we have Uncle Al explain that to us, too?
I was just going to say, Al Snow teaches everybody your goal is to win the match.
Mm-hmm.
You do not, I don't care what the circumstances are, win the match and then go back in the ring. That is the most moronic thing I've heard. And Dave, I'm just gonna have to say you're absolutely right. They let them do this.
Don't say that too often to him, please.
No, it's not that often that it happens.
You already see the Dave Hero wing of the studio over there for his head.
This concept went through like 13 or 14 different brains in that company, and they said, okay, that's fine.
It makes sense to me.
Oh, my God.
Bookers, producers, and all the other guys agreed on that finish.
I can't believe Jericho agreed to it. It just makes him look stupid.
But isn't the match...
Sometimes you just... I'm not there, so I can't. But I can put myself in the shoes. Most of the guys there are old school, and they believe in old school traditions and values. But sometimes you just can't fight every dang fight, and you just give in. And maybe he just said, "Forget it," you know.
I think that match will have been
type deal.
I think it will have been forgotten about by the time SmackDown rolls around this Friday.
A lot has changed in Chris Jericho's world the last couple of months, from champion to this.
And the reason both guys will have been forgotten is because both guys won't be on SmackDown.
You
that is
spoiled
true.
the rest of the show, Dave.
We will be talking about the draft.
If you saw Raw, you know they got drafted to Raw.
Kidding.
Jeez, don't get hot about it.
Raw, which now the show that is the Mercedes to the SmackDown Kia.
I was thinking Yugo, actually. But
No, they don't make those anymore.
That's
it
what I'm
definitely
saying.
is the A-team.
You can go.
We'll talk about those draft picks later on in the program. Remember, you can join us on the phone lines. The number is 276-ESPN, 276-3776, or all over this great world at 1-800-990-3776, 1-800-990-3776. And if you want to talk to Mean Gene Okerlund, 1-900-909-9900. This is the award-winning. It's too hot for radio. This is the award-winning Pro Wrestling Report on 540 ESPN and ESPNMilwaukee.com.
Start the day with Mike and Mike, mornings at 5 a.m. Get Milwaukee sports all day long on 540 ESPN.
Welcome back to the Pro Wrestling Report here on 540 ESPN, coming to you live from the Time Warner Cable Studios right downtown in Milwaukee. Wednesday night, April 28, 2010. Special night, special time for the Pro Wrestling Report, live at 7 p.m. tonight. And all kinds of great Bucks coverage going on here at the station. And we are going to talk more now and finish up actually talking about WWE Extreme Rules from this past Sunday night. JTG versus Shad in a strap match. Dave Hero, you care to talk about that one?
Congratulations to JTG.
For his new haircut?
He had a perm, I think.
All right, tell me what's going on, man.
It was a strap match, crime time.
But why did they break up? What's up?
Oh, they broke up.
Yeah, they're done.
Yeah.
So who's the good guy? Who's the bad guy?
JTG's the baby,
The
and
little one?
Shad
Okay.
is
That's appropriate.
Chrome Dome now.
Really?
Oh yeah,
Shaved it all off.
We've been talking.
Yeah.
Here was the story of
Who's
that
the
match.
Shawn Michaels of that match, you think?
Who's the Shawn Michaels of that match?
Can they both be Marty Jannetty?
Hey,
you know,
wait a minute.
I think
Marty Jannetty was great.
that's why Dave said, who's the Shawn Michaels?
But no.
Rashi's going along with the general pun that if you're to Shawn Michaels, you'll be successful.
No,
versus
brother, you got to go like Paul Roma and Jim Powers or something. Marty Jannetty was in the upper tier of workers ever in this business, so you can't slam him like that. Sorry.
I didn't slam him.
You tried.
No, I didn't.
I'm
I
taking
just
up
went a
for it.
different direction. That's all.
The wrong direction.
I don't think this has ever happened before. Literally, a 30-second commercial for KFC aired during the pay-per-view.
For real?
A 30-second commercial.
Why
After
did
the
they make you
JTG
hungry?
Shad match.
No, that's oh God.
Whoa,
How
come on
appropriate,
now.
right?
What do you mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Michael Hayes had nothing to do with it.
Here's
Michael
the thing, though.
Hayes is a
I get
cool
it.
cat, man. Whatever.
I get it. KFC was the sponsor. Great, super. And they've had sponsors for many a pay-per-view in the past. However, though, if you're dropping money for this show, I'm not sure a commercial is appropriate, a full-blown commercial.
You know what? But when they did the Slim Jim commercial with Edge, that was a 30-second spot.
That was topical. Edge was in it.
It
They were a
doesn't make
wrestler in this spot.
See, I can't quote instances but it's happened before, and it will happen again.
That hasn't happened before.
It has.
Damon, I understand your
frustration.
I don't know if you're angry or not, but
I'm hot about it.
For me personally, like I'm a video game player, and now we're starting to see like movie advertisements in the backdrop of the game while you're playing, and it's like,
and they're live advertisements.
Yeah, and it's like, dude, I paid $50 for this game, and now you're going to make me watch your advertising? I should get the game for free if I look at all these advertisements. They're not going to cut the pay-per-view price, but if I was WWE, I'd do it also. You have minutes and minutes to use. Why waste it on a match when you can actually get a couple $100,000 out of it?
Some people that order the pay-per-view order it in HD and paid $10 more.
And then some people,
like you, steal it.
I don't steal.
It's all about money, obviously.
I get it. Don't get me. I get it. I understand.
I'm pretty sure that they worked with Yum Brands in this case and decided, hey, if we could do a 30-second commercial, what would this cost? And it's all about the cash, and WWE's smart move.
At least they didn't have kangaroos in the turnbuckles. Ruse? Dude. You don't remember that, do you? Never mind, Dave. Oh, yeah, you didn't watch the NWA. I'm sorry.
Dave, you didn't?
Well, I watched Georgia Championship Wrestling.
I mean, so you're saying back when, like, WCW had the center of the ring, the actual mat, canvas with an entire ad on it, that was disruptive to you, too?
That's even better than a real commercial. That's better than a commercial during a pay-per-view.
Yes, it is.
I think so, too, because you get 2.5, 3 hours of airtime.
Maybe I'm making too big a deal out of it, but it
Absolutely.
it didn't only bother me because having paid for the show and then getting this, but it just felt odd.
You know why it bothers you? Again, because you paid for it, and the fact is, you're from Milwaukee. If it's not free, it's not me. It's your philosophy. We know that. I'm that guy, too.
I've never said that.
That's why you get free pay-per-view.
I got it from you.
It's assumed. You don't have to say it.
I think Frank's offended.
Frank's not offended.
As he should be.
Frank's Italian.
That was WWE Extreme Rules on pay-per-view. Overall, you know what? It was an interesting pay-per-view. I can't say it was good. I can't say it was bad. I think they went in a direction, whatever direction that may have been, and really it progressed things, thus meaning it had purpose. However, what's interesting to note is this is the first time I can ever remember that a WWE pay-per-view went to the top of the hour. It went all the way until 10 o'clock p.m. local time here.
Ask yourself the question you asked out loud. Was it worth the amount of money that you paid for the show? Put a dollar amount on it.
I'm going to have to drop $5 off of it because of the commercial situation. Sort of. I'm just saying.
I thought it was well worth the money. To see Sheamus and Jack Swagger keep going on, absolutely.
I'm just going to send them $50 because I think it was well worth it also.
Well, last Monday night was the WWE Draft. And we're going to go brand by brand and talk about who got drafted where and
they passed me over again?
Give some insight to why some of those picks may have been made and what might be down the road for some of those talents. But before we do that, a couple of superstars were released from WWE late last week. 7 talents in total. And I would have to say the biggest names on that list would have to be the gold standard Shelton Benjamin
Why, are you serious?
And Mickey James. I am serious.
You have
Mickey.
Shelton Benjamin as the big superstar that got released?
Well, okay.
But aside from those two, who else?
Yeah.
Who should replace him as far as the biggest name that got released?
Well, there's only one that really...
Jimmy Wang Yang?
No. The one that has the most...
Jam Master Jay?
Is Mickey James.
Mickey James,
That's why I said
absolutely.
the two.
Dude, you know when they started making fun of her days were numbered, so...
Absolutely.
And Shelton, man, he's made his dough, so he should be okay. But they've tried and they tried and they tried and they tried.
See, and exactly. We had this talk 2 months ago about who should be gone, and
he was the first on the list.
Yeah. You know, his time has come and gone.
What was he missing, though?
Charisma.
He's missing. Yeah.
He has good charisma.
It's how do I can't explain
that
it, man.
certain.
There's just something when he grabs the microphone,
factor.
like his voice it doesn't attract you to him.
He doesn't have bass in his voice.
Well, he's got plenty of bass.
He has bass in
Not
his voice.
not real bass.
Yes, he
That's
does.
trying to be
Okay.
bass.
Now we
Or
talked about
he's trying
clothes,
to
and now we're
contort
talking
his
about
voice to make it sound like it, but I think he has bass.
He's
in
not
his voice.
intimidating either.
I bet he can kick your tail.
He has yellow hair.
Gold, blonde,
I can't
standard.
explain Shelton, man. Like, he has everything you need, but that
And
one thing is missing.
and they've tried everything with him too.
They have.
They put him over on Triple H 2 or 3 weeks in a row, and
Yep.
he first went
They
to
brought
Raw.
in his mama.
Yeah, they've done everything to get him over, and it just didn't work.
It was time for him to go, to be honest with you, to let him do something else. I mean,
maybe a reset, a refresh.
Well, Charlie Haas, who was released several months ago by WWE, has been very public in his recent conversations about the business and basically pleading with Shelton to not re-sign with WWE. And, of course, now the conversation has started as to if Shelton Benjamin or any of these other talents may end up on the other Monday night show. We're going to talk about that and a whole lot more here on the award-winning Pro Wrestling Report on 540 ESPN and ESPNMilwaukee.com. Welcome back to the Pro Wrestling Report on 540 ESPN and ESPNMilwaukee.com. We are live Wednesday night, April 28, 2010. Coming to you from the beautiful Time Warner Cable studios of 540 ESPN here in downtown Milwaukee. A little bit of Rockers action there. The team of Marty Jannetty and Shawn Michaels.
Yes, sir. Wait, was it Marty Jannetty and Leif Cassidy?
No.
That's your boy over there. Good old Al Snow.
Al Snow, GLCW champion.
Al should have put Marty through another plate glass window.
Huh?
You know, Al's been busy as an agent for TNA now.
He has been very busy.
Yes.
He's not booking the OJ stuff, is he?
There's nothing to book.
He's in jail.
I didn't see this past. I didn't see this past Monday night segment with OJ, but I guess he was wearing something questionable again. Did you guys catch it?
It was Frank's T-shirt.
He borrowed it from Frank. Did you get that caution tape back?
I did not.
Shelton Benjamin. A lot of conversations about him just before we took that time out. I have always been a Shelton Benjamin mark. But aside from it hasn't helped him as much as the Miz. Aside from his Money in the Bank placement, what is there that he's given over the course of the last several years? And let me rephrase that. He's obviously given his talents, his ability, which is parallel to none.
Yeah, you can't.
But as far as buy-in
back,
and investment,
right.
Everyone looks forward to Shelton in the Money in the Bank ladder match, but that's all the buzz surrounding it.
But if you're thinking back in 5 years and you haven't seen Shelton since, what do I remember Shelton for? Money in the Bank.
All I remember is that and his mama.
And his mama.
Thea.
Frank
used to watch that show.
Which is one of the great comedians of
She
all
is great.
time.
I actually was listening to her the other day.
Yeah, she's good.
Well, Shelton Benjamin, along with Mickie James, released Mickie James, who recently, I believe, coming out soon, if not already, is a country western album that she has sang, and she has been sent away now.
Sent away?
Well, she's gone.
She got put out the pasture.
Hey, you know what? As far as we know, she could have asked for this. Doubt it, but as far as we know, she could have.
She's been rubbing people the wrong way for a while.
That's not right.
Hey, David,
7
you
o'clock
don't know
in the
what
evening.
she's been doing.
There was discussion. There was discussion that when they were stranded at Sheamus's house, that Mickie did indeed not perform very favorably amongst the people who care in WWE.
We got rubbing and performing.
You're breaking Meathead's heart right
Has
now.
Ken Doane resurfaced yet in the professional wrestling world?
Not since he's been on that TV show.
Seducing Cindy?
Seducing Cindy.
Mickie James, y'all's thoughts on her release from WWE Media?
Crushed. But then again, she's probably one of the better female workers that the company had. So if there's a 90-day, no-compete clause that she had in a contract, we don't know. But if there is, I would like to see her take some time off, relax, refresh her batteries, come back to TNA. So that way, now that she's in TNA, maybe there's a possibility she could be on this very program.
What would you do if it was...
What do you mean? Oh,
Mickie James versus Lacey Von Erich.
Oh, wow.
I'd cry.
Swing. What, at the match that's going to happen? Or
Yeah, because I can't watch that.
Yeah, because you're engaged. You're done.
Yeah, you're done.
In 16 days.
You better tap out, baby.
I tapped out a long
She
time
tapped
ago.
his wallet out a long time ago.
Rashi, your thoughts, Mickie James. She's been in WWE for a very long time. One of the actually good wrestlers, good female wrestlers amongst some others in WWE. and now gone.
Yeah, meathead's crushed, so I'm smashed. And actually, it's their mistake.
Yeah.
Hopefully she'll resurface somewhere where there's good women's wrestling.
Somewhere
or there's a bunch of good women wrestlers.
Or somewhere where I'm at.
And she can show them what they're missing.
You know what? This is the first time a solid diva wrestler has been released.
Just cut loose. Yeah.
You know, the rest all retire with the company. This is the first time.
Alundra Blaze didn't.
Lita.
Oh, that's completely different.
Lita, Trish, they all walked out on their own.
Yeah.
Molly Holly walked out on her own, too.
I liked her feud a few years ago with Trish Stratus. I did.
Well, let's say
You're talking
why.
about the WrestleMania 22 one, where Mickey James came
she
of
wanted
age.
to be like her and all that. I liked that. I thought it was
It
good.
was some HLA. I think that's what you liked.
That too.
We saw that match actually at WrestleMania 22, and there was a small little botch in there, but you'll never see that again unless you tape that actual, live event because they've edited that out. It was a great match, and the crowd was right behind Mickey, even though, you were supposed to be a Trish fan. Trish was the babyface going into the match. That crowd loved Mickey James.
Kaz, you were saying?
It hurts me that y'all remember women's matches like this.
We talked about.
You have something better doing your time?
He is the Metapedia.
There's just we've got the Deva.
Yeah.
We've got the Metapedia, and now you two just need names, I guess.
That's perfect.
You two look
the
adorable
Skull
together,
Crusher,
sharing the
Rashi
same
Brown.
microphone, just so you know.
No, what we're doing is we don't want your germs, so we're just self-preserving over here.
I have no idea what I was going to say after that.
When do you ever, my friend?
Those two, the big names released from WWE, several others released as well. But here's the speculation that obviously automatically starts. Will and should these two talents end up on TNA?
Well, rumor has it Hogan's giving his ring to Sheldon next week.
Because he needs it. The gold ring, gold standard.
If there were truly still an X division as it was in the past, is Shelton Benjamin not the perfect person for that?
Sheldon's a pretty big guy.
He's not an X division guy.
No limits.
No.
Are you guys going based on his size?
No, I'm going based on the way he works from me visually and trying to see that in the X Division style.
There's nobody that comes from New York can go X Division.
Not really.
Come on.
Well, this is the deal.
That's completely different.
Sheldon has been in their system since his existence. He's never wrestled the Indies or a different style other than the WWE.
You're right.
And that's a whole different animal. What they do is something that we don't do. And if we go there, we need time to develop and learn to their style. And same for them when they're released and they're on the Indies or they go to different companies. They have to adjust to the way the guys work.
Maybe that's good for Shelton then to go out and hit the Indies for 6 months a year.
No way. There's no way he'll do that.
No way.
Why you don't think he'll do it? I think he's a hot name right now.
The guys that have never ever done that and they've made a lot of dough, they're never ever gonna do it because they don't.
Look at her.
They don't want to go. They've heard the stories. They know how we starved. They don't want to go through that. No, why?
Put it this way: Shelton Benjamin's not going to do an indie for, let's say, $500, $750, $1,000, and work some local guy, and then all of a sudden he gets hurt.
And take a chance of a local guy taking a shot at him.
Yeah. Shelton Benjamin has worked consistently for 10 years now?
About 10.
Yeah. There's no reason for him to go do it. He saved all of his money. He'll go straight to TNA. He may do a couple indie shots for friends or family or whatnot, but no, you won't see him on the indies.
You don't see him lost in the shuffle.
No,
right away
you know what will happen? He'll go to TNA, and they'll go nuts, and they'll give him a big push because he's from New York. He's had a lot of TV exposure, and then after a couple of weeks, he'll fizzle out, and then they'll be right back where they started again.
Yeah.
I think it's a big, big, big mistake if TNA brings Sheldon in.
You know they will.
But he doesn't bring anything
different.
But, Rashi, can he?
No.
Can he?
No.
We're just judging this on the 10 years that he spent in WWE.
I'm judging this on this guy has had 3, 4, 5 different makeovers, and the Pope was in New York, and we knew he had different ideas that they never let him do.
Wow.
But it seems like they listen to all of Sheldon's ideas, and they've given him the chance so many times. I can't think of a way that he could recreate himself to entice viewers to watch TNA over WWE.
Could Shelton Benjamin had been a Jack Swagger or a Sheamus? Could, if he had been given a world championship early on in his career, could he had been as impactful as those two have been as a result of the same thing?
Because he came in basically with Charlie Haas.
And for Kurt Angle.
He had a bigger push. He had Kurt Angle as his guy.
All right, and Dave, you're correct. And on top of it, the talent pool was a lot thicker at the time when Sheldon was there. There was so much talent.
Brands had collided.
Now, brother, you have Sheamus and
Swagger.
They're being pushed because they have nothing else, my friend. It's the honest to God's truth. The talent pool is not as it was when Sheldon first come in. So you can't compare those two situations at all.
More discussion on this past Monday's WWE Draft. Another knockout leaving TNA Wrestling, and an interview, and our guest, Sean Morley, otherwise known as Val Venus. Val Venus. All that and more to come here tonight on the award-winning Pro Wrestling Report on 540 ESPN and ESPNMilwaukee.com. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Frank's over here shaking the ropes, literally. Welcome back to the Pro Wrestling Report on 540 ESPN and ESPNMilwaukee.com. We're live Wednesday, April 28th, special Wednesday night show. Damian Nelson, the Diva, Dave Hero. Wow. The Kaz, Frank Costantino, Skullcrusher Rashi Brown, the man they call Meathead. And we are looking for your phone calls. The number that you can call is 276-3776, all over the world at 1-800-990-3776. And let's go out to Queens, New York. Raphael, you're live.
Yeah, I was going to ask about Tara. Is she still there or she's released?
Her contract didn't expire yet, right?
She's got 4 weeks left.
Yeah.
It's safe to say if she's on TV, she's doing clean jobs for the next 4 weeks.
She stated publicly recently, and thanks for that call, Raphael. She stated publicly recently, I think it's today actually, that she went to TNA for more money. And she didn't get it, so she's leaving. And pretty much sums it up.
You know what? That's the same thing that happened with Gail Kim.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone that's in TNA, all those knockouts, they don't get paid anything.
Right.
No, they don't. And you know what the shame of it is?
It's a shame
that the woman that a woman runs that company, and she's not taking care of the women in the company.
No.
I
believe that statement's a bit sexist.
How do you figure?
But this is the
How
deal.
do you figure?
What's the assumption? Because Dixie's a woman, she should be paying the females more?
That she's going to at least make it competitive.
It should be a level playing field, not playing field. It should be.
There's a lot of quotables on tonight's show.
Do you really think that it should be a level playing field and paying field if really the viewers are really tuning in for men versus watching the women?
Come on.
Hold on now.
Highest rated segments are females.
If you want to break this down in TNA, you're absolutely wrong, and what Damian said is correct. They tune in to watch the TNA women. They're the highest rated segments on their program.
You're right.
And they're the lowest paid people in the company.
You're absolutely right.
So you tell me what's wrong with that picture.
But. Absolutely right.
It's America. That's the butt, right?
Can't do it.
Exactly. We can exploit anybody because it's America.
But.
Yeah, I know.
If they had those women, women just like that, if they had all their segments full of women like that, nobody would watch the show.
I understand
the reason that they tune into that particular segment is because that's where you're going to see all the women. Then it's back to the men again.
Meathead.
Yes, sir.
God, are you a moron? We know this.
Okay.
And that is why
the men get paid more.
Said, no. If you have your sponsor paying for the highest rated segment of the show and they're bringing in like $300,000 for this 30-second spot because this is when the women are on, but when Hogan's on they bring in $15,000, you tell me that's fair?
I didn't say it wasn't fair. I didn't say it wasn't fair.
Wow.
I'm just telling you can't have more than one or two segments of the
we
women.
know this, but we're not denying that, but we're telling you the value of the women when they're on TV for TNA is higher than the value of a man on TNA.
At times.
At times. Thank you.
Right.
Wait, God!
That's
you
the
were
point.
just sitting here fighting the whole thing, and you just agreed to at times. Why are you here?
I love Kelly Holcomb. I know he will start.
You guys.
All right, so Tara's leaving. Done deal. She said it unless something could happen, which it ain't, because it didn't happen with Gail, as you said. Didn't happen with Kong, as you said. What? She's leaving. Not with, but come on.
Damien, that was just great.
I have no idea what I even said, so it's time to take a time out. When we come back, it's hour 2 of WCW Nitro. This is 540 ESPN and ESPNMilwaukee.com.
Celebrating 12 years on the air and voted 2009 Broadcast Show of the Year. This is the Pro Wrestling Report on 540 ESPN and ESPNMilwaukee.com.
Dave Hero just literally Kennedy or Anderson that mic.
He's my guy right now.
I cannot believe you just did that. I'm calling him Mark all the time. You literally just Anderson that mic.
You know why? Because Ken is looking out for me right now.
He also is not the first to do that. The great Khali did that when he sat in that
absolutely. Chair. Just brings it down. Ken's looking out for me. You know, we talked about, your buddy, the Pope, and that's why Ken went out there and took him out for me.
That was a great promo between the two of them this past Monday night.
Like I said, the Pope had probably 3 minutes of time to himself entirely before Kenny came out there, and then they had 3 or 4 more minutes. So the Pope is a nobody in this company.
I never said he's a nobody.
He had the time to cut his promo. He wasn't rushed.
This is so messed up.
He had the people with him every second.
That's why you're a heel.
Yeah,
and
right?
yet he's a big nobody, but you had to get Kenny to go out there and straighten him out, right?
I never said he was a nobody.
You said it's over. You said it's downhill.
Well, it is now. If he really tore his labrum, he's out.
I believe your exact words were, he may as well leave.
Yeah, he might as well leave. You know what? Here's the thing.
Hang on,
friend. No.
Because Ken Anderson lost at that pay-per-view also.
Ooh.
Yes, he did.
So where are they?
But he wasn't
in
in a title match.
Oh, because Kenny was what? Nobody?
No. Listen, here's what we're going to do.
Oh, wait, who was more important than the Pope?
Ken Anderson.
Wait, well, I don't think so.
Well, the most important on the show?
No, between those two guys, if the Pope was in a title match and Kenny was in a non-title match, who was the most important person?
It's a good question. I guess.
No, it's clearly.
Well, let me think about it.
You don't have to. I'll think for you. The Pope is more important.
All right. Well, here's the thing. We will find out how important the Pope is, because right now,
due to injury.
No. Listen. Injury aside, because the fans get to vote for now who they think is the number 1 contender.
172,000 people have voted in that poll, and pretty soon we'll tell you who's ahead in just a moment.
So if the Pope is as popular as all you people keep saying he is, with the exception of Frank.
Wait a minute. Frank says, whoa. You're on the hero bus?
Hey, because this bus is going to the right place.
he cowardly did that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And why are you unbuttoning your shirt?
Because what the hell's going on here? It's hot in here. I'm about to punch somebody.
And he's saying it.
You know?
I told
next
you I
to
was
Meathead unbuttoning your shirt? Come on now. Listen.
Hero started at 7 o'clock
if you go to TNAWrestling.com and you vote for who you think should be the number 1 contender, the Pope is not even in the top 3.
Because we know that he's hurt.
Doesn't make a difference.
It's manipulated anyway.
Duh.
I don't think this is.
No, listen.
I don't care what you think.
Know what?
I'm just telling you.
When they vote for the All-Star game or the Pro Bowls,
shut up, Frank.
They still vote in injured players.
They do, but again, we're talking about sports entertainment.
We're
talking about sports entertainment.
We're talking about real sports, which is wrestling, and that really manipulated
But listen,
stuff,
here's
which
what I'm
is
saying:
baseball
if the fans
football.
truly believe in the Pope, then he should be voted number 1 contender. Now it's out of my hands.
Man, I got Meathead and a.
Hey, but at least I've been right twice so far with you tonight.
Rashi, welcome to your family.
No.
Welcome.
Calgon, take me away.
So, who is not? Where is the Pope ranked right now in that gimmick?
Well, Dave Hero, where the Pope is ranked in that gimmick right now is, let me vote for him real quick here.
Yeah.
I ain't lying. That's just what I did.
You know what? I might have to vote for him also so he gets a few more votes.
All right, are you ready? Are you ready?
Yeah.
23% to Jeff Hardy, number 1.
Wow, shocking.
Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me. 25% to Desmond Wolfe, number 1.
Wow. How about that? Rocky Foxy.
23% to Jeff Hardy, number 2.
There you go.
12% to Mr. Anderson, number 3.
Anderson?
Really?
Really?
Wow. He's important then,
9% to Sting, number 4.
Really?
Really? And number 5, with 8% of the votes, the Pope.
There you have it.
You just said he's not even in the top 5.
I said top 3.
He said top 3.
Well,
but
I said top 3. I heard 5.
No, he said 3.
5.
But we're going to take 5 as 3 because there's like 90 guys in that company, and he's number 5, so that counts as 3, Dave.
You know what? You can have your 3.
I'm going to eat it, too.
But at the end of the day, it'll be Jeff Hardy as the number 1 contender.
No,
he's
Desmond Wolf.
And again, I've said that Jeff Hardy is the Rey Mysterio for TNA. He's the one that crosses all the demographics. He sells the shirts. He gets the kids.
But you know what, though? It's exciting to see Desmond Wolf rank that high. You know?
I'm excited
Good
about
for
it,
him.
too.
What do you know about him?
I know he's a former Ring of Honor star.
What else do you know?
He's got a chick named Chelsea as his manager.
Do you know his former name?
Nigel McGuinness.
He's been on this very program, by the way.
Come on, baby. You can't stump me like that.
Where's he from?
He's British, you know.
That's a little inside joke. Sorry, guys. But that's funny.
Let's go to the phones. That's safest right now. Let's go out to Pennsylvania. Jake, you're live on the Pro Wrestling Report.
Hey, how you guys doing? I love the show.
Thank you very much, Jake.
I just have a question. You know, I went on today and I voted for Desmond Wolf, and you know, I'm kind of a TNA fan, and you know, basically, there's a bunch of guys in the company right now that I'd really love to see square off on pay-per-view. I'm really excited about their roster right now, but I just can't say the same about WWE, and I just wanted to know your guys' thoughts on, like, you know, if you could give me an example of kind of a dream match. You could pair 2 guys up on the WWE right now that you really like to throw on pay-per-view. You think they could put on a good match? Because I don't think they're doing a great job building guys right now, and that's kind of where I'm coming from.
Nothing exists in my mind, my friend.
Well, Hero's got one already. You mentioned it earlier in the program.
Well, but that's a couple years away.
Yeah.
You know, Sheamus and
I would not pay
Swagger.
to see that.
In a couple of years, you might.
No, in a couple of centuries, I wouldn't pay to see that. No.
Well, then just borrow Meathead's free box and watch it for free.
And Jake, thank you for the call. The Hero mentioned Swagger and Sheamus as a match. I don't know if I'd pay for that either right now.
You know what? It would have to be something with, you know what? I wouldn't mind seeing Jericho and Randy Orton.
No. With me, Jericho is so, I've been done with Jericho. I'm sorry. He doesn't do it for me anymore.
Well, what else do we have to choose from?
Exactly. Like I said, there's nothing there I want to see.
I think Jericho and Orton,
have they done a program together?
I don't know.
No. Nothing
Jericho
big.
and who?
Metapedia? You don't know?
Nothing big. Nothing big as far as pay-per-view to pay-per-view.
That still doesn't interest me still.
Well, the Pope is number 5 in the rankings right now.
Well,
and,
keep voting for him and see how further
that's why
he's
he's
going to
been
get.
gone.
Yeah.
In this particular instance, I had to vote for him to get the results to pop up.
All right,
that was the only option.
Hey, you know what's funny? Wait, hold on 1 second. But the 2 guys they're pushing the hardest in TNA, the Abyss, where's he on there?
Who? I know,
Abyss?
man. Exactly.
He's
Abyss
dead
has
last.
3,000 votes.
Dead last. 3%.
He's got 3,000 votes.
Again,
He is 2% dead last.
Once again, listen to your audience. They don't.
Hulk Hogan doesn't listen to his audience. Matter of fact, he tells them that they're idiots.
I know this.
He has never said that specifically.
He's never used the word idiot, but he said
You're putting words in his mouth.
He has never said the word idiot, but he said they ruined the show.
Yeah. How about he ruined the show?
This is the award-winning Pro Wrestling Report on 540 ESPN and ESPNMilwaukee.com.
540 ESPN. The D-List, Homer and the Game. 9 straight hours of all Milwaukee and all live on 540 ESPN and ESPNMilwaukee.com.
Hello, fans.
Oh, come on, don't do
Hi,
that.
Damien. Hi, Damien.
Welcome back to the Pro Wrestling Report on 540 ESPN, coming to you from the Time Warner Cable Studios here in downtown Milwaukee. We're live on Wednesday, April 28th. Damian Nelson sitting alongside David Hero, the Cos, Frank Cosentino, Skull Crusher, Rashi Brown, and the man they call Meathead. And our guest right now, making his first appearance here on the Pro Wrestling Report, Sean Morley, formerly known as Val Venus. Sean, welcome to the Pro Wrestling Report.
Thanks for having me, guys. How's everybody doing?
Tremendous.
Excellent. That's what I always like to hear.
We're still riding a high from spending a week out in Phoenix, out in your city.
Not me. I don't do drugs.
Now, how can you want to hide from one of the greatest cities in the world? The sun shines every single day here all day long.
No, I said we're riding a high.
Oh, riding a high.
Yes, indeed.
Hiding.
No, God, no. I actually didn't want to leave when we left there after WrestleMania, but
totally understandable.
Sean, tell us a little bit about what's going on in your world right now, and share with the fans what's been going on since we last saw you in TNA Wrestling.
Well, just we're doing some independence here and there. We're still trying to reorganize my Mexican deal, as that was kind of messed up with TNA. And so we got boot camps that we've just scheduled our first one up in Peterborough, Ontario, Canada, and we're planning on doing several weekend boot camps throughout Canada and the United States and Mexico as well.
You know, Sean, so you go into TNA, unexpected. All of a sudden there you are, and you're there for a few weeks. What was it like in the startup of the Hogan-Bischoff era of TNA for you?
For me it was obviously something new. I mean, it was fresh, it was new, at least it seemed that way when I went in there. I think TNA is definitely a decent organization. I think they have a lot of potential behind them to grow. But when I was there, it felt like there were a lot of different heads pulling in different directions. And I think that's a problem they're going to have to sort out. They're going to have to, someone there is going to have to establish themselves as the leader of the organization. Now, whether that's Dixie Carter, whether that's Eric Bischoff, whoever it may be, somebody has to establish one head in order to run that organization, because there's just too many heads pulling in different directions. At least that's the impression I got.
And that's the impression we have as well. We've been talking about that for the last few weeks on our TV and radio programs. Who is that person who is definitively in charge in TNA right now?
That's the problem. Like, nobody really knows. With WWE, you have the one man that decides the entire direction of the show, and it makes it so much easier because everybody can fall back in line and do their job. Mm-hmm. With TNA, it feels like there are some people that will write a script and they'll push the storylines in one direction, and somebody else will come in and try to push it in another direction, and then you have other people pulling in different directions after that, and it doesn't seem like there's one head leading the company.
No, it sounds a little bit like the WCW stigma that it was going on for the last 4, 5, 6 years that was going on down there.
Yeah, I didn't spend any time with WCW, but yeah, from what I heard, it's fairly similar. TNA has a lot of fantastic talent, but I think the one main issue that I see with them is that there is no definitive leader in the organization, and whether that be Eric Bischoff or whether it be Dixie Carter or Hulk Hogan or whatever the case may be, somebody has to step up as the definitive leader. Jeff Jarrett maybe. I don't think you can have real power sharing there.
Val, how do you feel as being one of the first guys that they decided to bring in to pretty much spike the company and draw in viewers that come from elsewhere? And at the same time, you said earlier that they messed up your Mexico deal. At the same time, you're no longer there, and I'm an independent worker myself, so the relationship you have with Mexico, how do you repair that, just for the fans' sake, to get an insight into a wrestler, with relationships? How do you repair going back to Mexico after you thought, things might work out well for you in TNA and they haven't?
Well, here's the thing: I worked in Mexico for almost 2 years before I started with WWE. Mm-hmm. Paco Alonso, the guy that owns Arena Mexico, I'm fairly tight with him. He's always been really good to me, and we've always worked well together. Now, when I was set to start on March the 5th, part of the deal with TNA was I would do TVs and pay-per-views for TNA, and I'd work Mexico full time. Mm-hmm. And so Mexico was my main deal. I was set to start March 5th. My work visa was pushed through for March 5th as a start date. Now, your start date has to correspond with your work visa start date. And so one of the things I gave to TNA, or an agreement I had with TNA was, 4 to 6 weeks in advance, I needed my schedule for pay-per-views, so Mexico could book around that. And they did that at first. And Mexico booked me for March 5th as a start date. We had March 8th in Arena Mexico, and so on. We just continue on. And a little more than a week before I was getting ready to start in Mexico, TNA called and said they're going to go live on Monday night, so they need to get my March 8th date back. And I couldn't do that. I can't, just tell Mexico, hey, you've advertised me and everything for the last, 6 weeks. Sorry, I can't do it anymore.
Right. And then, of course, they would have used you on March 8th, and you'd be just sitting there.
And that's exactly what happened. The March 8th date. And so that kind of got me hot, but okay, we'll work around it. But it screwed up my work visa date for the start. They have to tear out the work visa and reprocess another one. Then they turn around and call me and say that, oh, by the way, we're not going to bring you in for March 8th. We're going to bring you in for March 9th instead. And so, and the fact that when I talked to Terry, basically they had nothing really solid for me in TNA at the time. So we just kind of parted ways and restarted the visa process with Mexico, and that's what we're doing right now.
Sean, you wrestled in WWE, obviously, in TNA. Is there a wrestler or wrestlers out there that you'd like to step into the squared circle with that you haven't had that opportunity yet?
Such as Cody Rhodes or The Miz.
Oh, boy.
Oh, there are a lot of guys that like to step in the ring with. I mean, pretty much any of the talent in WWE is always worthwhile stepping into the ring with. TNA's got phenomenal talent. There's no question about it that anytime you step in the ring with them, it's going to be a pleasure for sure. One of the main guys that I think has a ton of talent, obviously, is Bobby Roode, and I'm not just being biased on him because he's Canadian or anything like that. He's an absolutely phenomenal worker, and I think he's got a huge future in the business.
You're not the only one that says that, too. Everybody loves Bobby Roode, and Bobby Roode's got everything. He's got the it factor. Switching gears just a little bit here, we know that you're a big political guy, and you have some very strong political opinions. Do you want to speak on that a little bit and maybe give us your stance?
A freetarian.
Well, freetarian is a word I created, just combining freedom and libertarian, because I am very much a hardcore libertarian.
Sure.
I believe in very, very limited government at the most and no government at the least. I don't believe anyone has a right to use government to force their needs or their desires on from other people.
Yep.
I think I like Val Venus. I think I like Sean Morley because that's exactly what I like.
Oh, absolutely. To me, the immigration issue here in Arizona, for example, I think it's absolutely nuts. I mean, you have a lot of people that are using government in order to keep people out that really want to come here and work hard. And I mean, they can't do it as individuals. I mean, if you kidnap someone and because they're not from America and you take them back to Mexico, I mean, that's called kidnapping. So if you can't do that as an individual, then theoretically you should not be able to vote someone into power to create some kind of tyrannical organization to kidnap these people and send them back for you. If you can't do it as an individual, then you shouldn't be able to do it through the use of government as well. And a lot of people will say, well, they're milking our social services, our schools, our health care. But that's not an immigration problem.
Right.
It's a government theft problem.
Yep.
And so I think we need to focus on the government theft problems and get rid of the government-run social programs and let charities handle the downtrodden and whatnot. And I think once you get rid of government or get government out of the business of welfare and education and things like that, you remove the use of intimidation, coercion, and force on citizens.
Yeah, I've never seen them turn away a ship full of immigrants from Europe. You know what I mean?
Good stuff and strong opinion, obviously. But, wow, Meathead, I can't – what, politics, really?
Hey, Meathead has been growing up. I used to be –
Meathead voted for, But anyway, Dave has a question.
Wait, well, Sean, you got the T-shirts out there, right?
Absolutely.
And the website for that is?
The website for that is, you know what? I just changed it.
That's a long website. .com or .org?
Okay. Well,
I was going to say moneyshottees.com, but it's not moneyshottees.com anymore. I can tell you right now. It's valvenus.onlineshirtstores.com.
And then, of course, everyone can follow you on Twitter at Freetarian, right?
Freetarian.com, absolutely. And there's links to the store there as well.
Awesome. Now, Sean, if you had to pick one guy, now you were in TNA for, about a month or so. Who is the one guy there, if you could pick, that you would put the belt on and say, okay, this is the guy that's going to run the company, and we're just going to all, get on board him right now?
And most people say the Pope, just before you go.
Why would you say
the Pope? The Pope's great. There's no question about that. But I would definitely have to go hands down, flat out, on Bobby Roode. Absolutely.
The TNA original.
The TNA original, absolutely. I mean,
he needs Vince to get his hands on him because, like you said, he's money.
Absolutely, he is, for sure. I like the idea of him being in a tag team a little bit longer. I think he still needs to develop a little bit more of a personality. He needs to intensify the personality he has now. But, yeah, I think he's well on his way to becoming one of the very best in the business.
Well, Sean, thank you so much for your time. And once again, that website for those T-shirts, valvenus.onlineshirtstores.com. Thank you very much for coming on to the program, and we look forward to talking to you again soon. This is the award-winning Pro Wrestling Report on 540 ESPN and streaming live at espnmilwaukee.com. Vintage Fist. And wait, who's the one person clapping along with it here in the studio? Fist is clapping behind the glass.
I like the song. I just don't like the fact that it's referred to as the song I'll be dancing to when my bride.
Your sister,
Whoa!
Wow.
We're still in prime time. This isn't the Blue Hour. Knock it off.
Yeah.
Oh, you got a hero talking about people popping their heads out from underneath the table.
This
isn't the Blue Hour.
You did it.
Yeah, it's about you.
Why am I the guy that's trying to keep it clean?
If you guys don't mind, there's a minute left in the song. I'm just going to keep it playing.
And while you do that, we're going to thank our guest, Sean Morley, for joining us on the Time Warner phone line. Great guest.
Yeah.
First time on the program, had a lot to say, and hopefully he gets all that stuff worked out down in Mexico so he can go and earn a living down there. Remember, once more, that website is valvenus.onlineshirtstores.com, and he said something we've been talking about for weeks. There is no human authority figure, as the Coneheads would say, in TNA.
Or too many.
There's way too many.
Everybody thinks they're the boss.
Well, you know what? There's been a lot of talk about Paul Heyman.
Paul
Heyman possibly coming into TNA.
Good old JR.
Well, you know what?
Go ahead.
If you're Paul Heyman, what do you tell Dixie Carter you need if you're going to come in?
You need Hogan to go home and Bischoff to be quiet. That's what you need.
I disagree.
Bro, I'm telling you, Heyman has all the power. He don't need these people for nothing. And in order for him to come and work there, conditions have to be met for this man to do his job. And he can't have Hogan touching his sentences and rewriting them. And
glad you said sentences.
I mean, it has to happen. He has to be the man, the last stop before it.
He's got to be the Vince of TNA.
Yes, exactly.
And the best part for Paul is the fact that he won't be able to control the checkbook.
Wow.
I mean, isn't that the stigma?
That's not the best part for Paul. That's the best part for the wrestler.
That's what I meant. I apologize.
That would be. Wouldn't you think that's just too many? I don't want to cooks and
cooks in the kitchen.
Well, you know what? I just think. Can you imagine how volatile everything would be if you have Hogan, Bischoff, Vince Russo, and Paul Heyman all in the same conference room?
And you can imagine before a pay-per-view when sometimes they do change things in the last minute. 4 different opinions with a minute to go.
I think you guys are giving TNA a little bit too much credit right now. They're not rewriting promos and all that stuff.
Are you kidding me?
It's Crash business. Not just Crash TV, it's Crash business. No, I'm not kidding you.
They are rewriting. They are.
They're running TNA Impact the same way they did Nitro and Thunder.
Didn't Russo say something along the lines of he's right, and then he gets there, and then guys change it? And
well, they have to write the show, but you even said it. Kenny's not being written. He said on this program he's free.
Right,
he can say what he wants.
Here's a certain people. Everybody doesn't get free reign.
You get speaking points. I bet the Pope gets free reign.
These guys aren't even getting run sheets anymore. They don't even know what they're doing until they get to TV anymore.
Are they going to check that email list?
Now, that
stapled
sounds like
up in
WCW to
Are
me.
they stapled in the top right? Is that stapled in the top right corner? Remember, Bobby said that in the interview once. You know, when we got the run sheets, the staples weren't even in the right spot. You're trying to peel the pages back and forth. You can't even read it.
Bobby
Heenan.
Bobby Heenan. Now, he
Oh,
would
y'all
be
on
a creative
terms like
guy.
that now?
Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I didn't think so. Mr.
Frank, are you
Heenan
still
to you.
here?
It's the brain to you.
Or Mr.
The brain.
Heenan.
How are the Bucks doing? 52-50, Atlanta
Here's
slightly ahead
here.
right now.
Atlanta
Did I do
is
that
slightly
Frank?
ahead.
You probably should have done that part.
Don't get hot, Frank.
Well, Rashi has completely
Taken over and taken off his clothes.
Come on, man.
And don't you
Disturbing.
understand that these are see-through windows?
That's why he's
Don't
doing
you-
it.
Don't you understand that this is a see-through?
Oh,
never mind.
Put your singles away, me.
This
Come
past
on.
Monday night, WWE
Save it for your wedding.
had the draft. It was time to shake things up again. And oh, did they, to the favor of WWE Raw. Let's
Wow.
talk about some of those names that are noteworthy. And the first one I would have to say would be the new face of WWE SmackDown.
Oh, boy.
The man who is going to take that brand to new heights on Sci-Fi,
Ladies and gentlemen, Damian
Kofi
Nelson.
Kingston.
Cody Rhodes.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
You know,
Something's wrong with that
I
soundboard.
really thought about this whole thing.
Right, and you now understand
I understand why Cody's going to SmackDown.
to be the face of the
Because
brand.
that show is taped and they can edit all of his mistakes out.
Wow.
And that show also can be put away and nobody would care in the
Can we
WWE universe.
Can we get David Hero's list of 5 wrestlers
Wow.
he liked?
Dave, I can't protect you when we go traveling and you see all these cats, man.
What do you mean?
Oh, no. He knows how to throw the heat on others.
Oh, yeah.
I've been that guy.
He's
Yeah.
a good bus driver. Yeah.
Cody Rhodes, the new face of SmackDown. Come on, guys. Get excited. Let's talk about it.
No.
Not gonna
Wow.
happen.
No, really. I mean, you know what? SmackDown got screwed this whole draft. They took everyone that has, main event star quality. Put them on Raw.
Here's who went to Raw from SmackDown. Let's go over the whole list.
Morrison,
Yeah, John Morrison.
R-Truth.
You're going to mess up my list here.
Well,
I got them all in order.
well, okay.
John Morrison, the great Khali, who's not really wrestling much anymore. Goldust, Ezekiel Jackson, who's out for the next few months. Edge, a very powerful pick in Rajan Singh. R-Truth, what's up? MVP, Natalia, Tyson Kidd, D.H. Smith, and Chris Jericho, all now on the red team.
But that's the thing, though. They're going to treat SmackDown like they were treating ECW. That's why all the names are taken
Well,
right
here's
off the
why.
show.
Right
Because
now, though.
SmackDown's going to Sci-Fi, and no one's going to find him anyhow.
Right now, though, if you think SmackDown, and remember David Hero, you're the one who was sick of talking about Raw and wanted to talk about SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
If you talk SmackDown, give me the 3 names that you think about when you
Easy.
talk SmackDown.
Go.
Before this
Carol.
past Monday night.
The Rock, before this past Monday night?
As recent history,
Oh.
before this past Monday night.
Sorry.
Got nothing.
I'll say Taker, I'll say Edge, and I'll say Jericho.
Guys, your 3 top guys on SmackDown right now. Cody doesn't qualify yet.
You're talking about no, that's not what you said. You said before the draft. So what were the 3
Yeah,
names?
so you can't say Cody.
The 3 names that you just mentioned, Dave, but that's it. It's unfortunate, but that's it.
Frank, he gets it.
Kaz? I'm sorry, Rossi?
I'm going to have to agree again with the other 2 guys.
Meathead?
Well, Mysterio. You think Mysterio
Booyaka,
SmackDown?
booyaka.
Oh, yeah, forgot about him.
Mysterio SmackDown.
But what does that say? You forgot about him.
Yeah.
Mysterio?
It's Mysterio, Jericho, and Taker.
All right. And Taker's not on very often.
No.
But you
he's
think
the
Taker-
face of SmackDown.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's already
Taker?
much
Absolutely.
he is.
Mhm.
He wouldn't even look right on Raw anymore, I don't think.
No.
So
So
let's
right-
talk about who went over to Smacky Wacky.
Hornswiggle.
Hornswoggle,
What's he going to do?
Kofi Kingston, Kelly, Vance Archer,
Honestly.
Wait,
Tyler-
Vance Refrigeration is still in the company?
Who is Vance Archer?
Tyler Rex,
Lance Hoyt.
Lance
Oh,
Hoyt.
okay.
Rosa Mendez.
Oh, now see,
What?
there's a reason to watch SmackDown.
For who?
Rosa Mendez.
No.
Christian.
No woman can make me watch SmackDown.
Christian.
Your wife could.
There's
No,
the big
I
name
said
right there,
no
Damien.
woman.
Christian.
That's the big name right there that's going to SmackDown. Christian will
Who?
be SmackDown.
Christian.
He's
Christian
still
will-
being punished.
He's still being punished.
See, thank you, Rashi Brown.
You're
Been
welcome.
saying
man.
that for over a
MVP.
year.
I misspoke earlier. MVP actually drafted from Raw to SmackDown.
Christian will be the champion on SmackDown by the end of the year.
But okay, you brought up Christian. how long is this punishment going to last? I mean,
Forever.
It's been, what, a year now?
Look at the Road
He's in that
Warriors.
same doghouse CM
Hey,
Punk's in, right?
When they brought back the Legion of Doom, what did they do with them?
What a rush.
They made Hawk
Right.
fall off the top of the Titantron and teamed him with Sonny as LOD 2000.
Do you think Christian's happy?
He's getting paid.
He's probably right,
Well,
though.
the question is he happy?
I think he's right.
Well, yeah.
Rounding out the name of those who went over to SmackDown, Chris Masters, Chavo Guerrero, Big Show, and again the face of SmackDown, Cody Rhodes.
And nobody mentions CM Punk.
He wasn't drafted. He wasn't
No,
drafted.
I'm saying as far as the face of SmackDown, though.
Well,
Nobody mentions
One of those
CM
names.
Punk.
Well, I would say he's up there.
He has to
top
be up
three,
there,
maybe
yeah.
not, but he certainly.
But that's what I'm saying. He's had a
one of
good
those guys.
program with Rey Mysterio over the last how many months now?
2, but how many people have seen it?
Right.
I know. So it didn't happen.
When we
did
come
it,
back,
really?
more analysis on this past Monday night's draft. This is the award-winning Pro Wrestling Report on 540 ESPN and ESPNMilwaukee.com.
This is Packers wide receiver Greg Jennings, and you're listening to 540 ESPN.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the biggest Monday night in the history of professional wrestling. Welcome to Monday Nitro.
You know, you say that with such contempt, and it hurts me right here on the inside of my heart.
Because it got canceled, or because WCW is a defunct company that went out of business and was purchased by WWE in 2001?
No, because that was something I did with passion and pride when I did that gimmick, and then you took it
Can
over.
we find the new Nitro theme? That was the one they got canceled with. It's called Nitro. I don't know, but
Thanks for the memories, or
My way?
Oh, there were no memories.
Don't work too hard for
And
that.
don't ever roll Frank Sinatra's name in with
Are you pointing at me?
WCW. Yes.
Seriously?
You just
man.
defamed the greatest
You
entertainer
don't
of
have
all
that
time.
much fire when
wait
you're defending
hold on.
Cody Rhodes.
You better watch your mouth over there.
Wait a minute. I thought y'all had heat, so I was trying to jump on your bandwagon.
Well, then don't use Frank Sinatra because that ain't going to help, okay?
Let's go to the phone lines.
Okay,
and,
can we talk about how you
let's,
just cut me off? No?
were you talking? Let's go down to Glenn in Orlando, Florida, who wants to talk about lockdown of a few weeks ago. Glenn, you're live.
Hey, guys, what's up?
What up?
Glenn, thank you for saving us. Tell us what you got.
All right, first I got a comment on Edge spearing Randy Orton. I think it's going to be a way of Edge saying, look, we need to be a unit, and we need to reunite Rated RKO and become a face tag team, which I would like personally. Lockdown, I would like to see Kurt Angle come back from taking time off with TNA signing Charlie Haas and Shelton Benjamin and reuniting that tag team that I think.
Hey, that'd be fun for a couple weeks. Yeah, that'd be fun. I'd pop for that. I'm a mark, though.
What else you got?
That's it.
Okay.
Really.
The thing with team rated RKO, it's just not going to happen.
No.
It would have made a little more sense if, say, Miz and Big Show would have kept the tag team belts. It would have been two heavy powered teams, or even Jericho and Big Show versus say RKO would have been something to push the tag team belts. It would have been something.
The tag team belts are getting pushed right now.
They just finally got pushed. I mean,
What do you mean?
because
Whoa!
they just-
Wait a minute. Just finally got pushed. Miz Show was the tag team. The Miz was one half of the tag
Damian
team
Nelson.
champion.
Stop it,
Damian Nelson. May I offer my opinion?
Yes, you may, meathead. Go ahead.
Instead of pushing my opinion as fact,
go
can I
Colin.
offer my opinion?
Go ahead.
Please. The tag team belts mean nothing. But finally that they went ahead and did something with it. The Hart Dynasty, Bret Hart, who stands out there and looks like he does nothing and he's bored. They finally mean something. You have a new tag team that has the belt. Now, are they going to raise the prestige of the belt? Absolutely not. It's just a new team and them to be able to carry gold around with them. It won't do them a damn thing.
Once the Miz became one half of the tag team champions, the belts meant everything.
Can you take the mark off of that statement and actually give an intellectual statement?
They gave more
No,
meaning
you
to the
can't.
belts and the tag team belts than they had in a long time.
Are you kidding me?
They did.
Those belts have meant nothing in
I
years.
said they gave more
No, they
than
did
had.
not. No,
More
they
than
did.
had.
No, they did not.
David Hero, we got brand new World Tag Team
Yeah, you
champions.
better talk about
Unified
the
Tag
subject.
Team champions.
An amazing match, wasn't it? Who would have thought that the Hart Dynasty tag team champion?
You know, two
But
great
it
talents.
means nothing. though.
Two great talents.
It means a lot.
Two great talents.
Well, stop.
Wait,
Here's
wait a
here's
minute,
why
wait a
it
minute,
means something. Because Bret Hart's involved.
And he's going to be gone soon. Wasn't
No,
his contract
You know what?
ending in
Right
April?
now, he's going to stick around for a while. Bret Hart with the Hart Dynasty and Natalie Neidhart. now bring something more. I don't
Without
think,
Bret, there's no way they.
as much as I like the Hart Dynasty,
and I like them too.
Without Bret Hart there, it isn't quite it isn't quite as good. It isn't quite as strong.
Don't you think though they're making at least an opportunity to make it
I
mean
hope so. I
well,
hope
you
so.
want it to though, right? I mean,
I do absolutely
because
want it to.
For a while, yeah, it was stagnant. There was nothing. Did Miz and Show kind of bring a little life to it? Maybe a little bit, not
For a
much.
week.
But I didn't say a lot. I
Right.
said a little life to it. So now that they have on the Hart Dynasty, maybe they're trying to push that to an area that we like to see it at.
A title change is going to breathe, a little life into it.
I hope they have enough talent.
You know what you guys are
to put
missing?
together.
You know what you're missing though? And Damien, I'm not trying to ruffle your feathers, but they made Miz tap. It wasn't just a quick roll-up pinfall and beat the Miz.
And
Show.
it was a quick tap too.
It was a beating where they jobbed clean.
He's still the United States champion.
That's fine.
So
what I'm saying is that
Another
shows
belt
you,
that means nothing.
Listen, what they did by having Hart Dynasty beat Miz and Big Show like that is they kind of put their stamp on them, saying, "Hey, this team, we're going to use them. They're going to beat you clean. They're going to make you tap, not just a quick schoolboy roll-up and scoot out of the ring with the belt."
Well, they had to do something to split them up because Big Show was getting drafted.
No, man, that's the thing I hate about this stupid draft. You're a tag team champ, so now you all of a sudden lose your belt before you go away? Can we be more, God, just,
And the
know, it's
gimmick's
just
probably going to
horrible.
change too for Big Show. I bet you there's a small gimmick
It's
tweak in
so
there too.
stupid.
Oh,
every
please don't
year,
start talking about his clothes now.
every
guys.
year somebody has to drop a belt because they're changing brands, and it's just.
And I don't
moronic.
understand why WWE makes us feel like we should care for either red or blue.
I know.
Has it not been obvious, though, since, I would say, WrestleMania, that the Hart Dynasty would eventually become tag team champions?
We knew this.
It's been
I knew.
clear.
Yeah. Come on, they're good kids. They're all good kids. They need Brett for the star power, just to give them a little credibility, and then when Brett goes, they can go skating on their merry way. But what they're missing is just someone a couple years older than those guys to be the leader, because they don't. I don't see the leadership quality in the three of them.
Get him a Canadian. Get him Jericho.
Right.
Get him Edge.
Well,
get him.
No, you don't need a Canadian.
I just wish they had they do, but
DH,
Teddy
tremendously
Hart.
talented. Tyson, amazingly athletic and talented as well.
You know what? That
Good
was
team.
the best match Hart Dynasty's had in a long time.
That
Ever.
meant something.
Both guys looked very, very focused.
But now the most important thing, who's that group that's going to go against them for the next pay-per-view or two?
Well, the
make this work.
I think the Miz will get a partner because he wants his tag titles back. He wants that 30 pounds back. This is the award-winning Pro Wrestling Report on 540 ESPN and ESPNMilwaukee.com. Whether it's the basketball gimmick, the football gimmick, I still do it all better.
He is the greatest.
I throw from further away and make it. You want to know who? You want to know who?
Sounds like carry the 4 plus the 3.
How's Alicia Keys? Alicia Fox.
Alicia Fox is doing awesome.
Alicia Keys is hot too, though.
She's just taking
welcome
some
back.
time off right now.
Welcome back to the Pro Wrestling Report, the final stretch of this very special edition of the Pro Wrestling Report. Reminder, we will be back on next Monday night. Monday, right after WWE Raw, 10 o'clock Central Standard Time, Monday night.
I like this spot.
May 3rd.
I like this 7 o'clock on a Wednesday spot.
That's good. Maybe we'll do it again sometime. We'll see what's going on. Hopefully the Bucks will continue to excel as they are
not excelling right now.
Potentially do. They're not down by much. As a matter of fact, 540 ESPN is going to have the Bucks Game Day. It's a special with Steve Haywood and Fish, Matt Salmon, after the Bucks-Hawks game right here on 540 ESPN and streaming live at ESPNMilwaukee.com. Fish, will there be any country boy in that?
No, I don't believe so. Perhaps if Big Country Bryant Reeves was on the team, then maybe we'd have the Hillbilly Jim team. Or if Meathead appears, but I don't believe
he's barely on this show, so he won't appear on that. He's got some things to check on outside, so.
I get buried weekly, and I think I love it, actually.
Oh, Meathead, there goes your truck.
David Hero, Roddy Piper, and ODB. You can follow him now.
Yeah, they are tweetable.
What?
Yeah. Well, if you were on Twitter, you would know this.
What?
You know, and if you'd be following the PWR show or myself or Meatball and
don't follow us.
No,
follow
Frank.
Retweet
Retweet
R_Roddy Piper on Twitter.
No, stop. It's R_Roddy_.
Oh, very
Piper.
good, very good. His latest tweet. So nice to be back on my mountain in Portland with Kitty Coat and Danica.
And the check cleared, and I'm buying
No,
a
he
car.
got paid in cash.
It's great to recharge the batteries with the family. And ODB, we are not necessarily going to repeat her username, but she just actually sent out a tweet moments ago that says, just got done playing softball for the bar I work at.
No, she's just kidding. But she did buy a brand new truck.
Come on.
She's just kidding.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
Why do you ruin the aura?
Because
are you going to talk about the Tooth Fairy, Easter Bunny, Santa Claus?
Cal's listening.
Who?
The great
Tooth
Cal.
Fairy has high payouts now.
Oh, it's
from
ridiculous.
what I understand.
Yeah, it's up to like $3 a tooth or something.
Speaking of Roddy Piper, Rasha, you had an interesting conversation with the Hot Rod recently.
Yeah, I spoke to the Hot Rod and asked him how he felt about guys that write their autobiographies and they use other wrestlers' names in their stories, but they take themselves out of the situation entirely to bury the person in the story. And in particular, I was talking to him about a situation with him and Ric Flair, and they were in Puerto Rico wrestling for a promoter, and Ric Flair in his book states that, Roddy Piper was paid in a trophy full of cocaine, and but Flair didn't use any of that, and Flair got paid in cash, and
right.
And when I looked at Piper, he looked at me, and he rolled his eyes, and it's not cool to, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
There's more to the story. I'll finish next week.
And there's always more going on in the Chatmosphere at BWRShow.com. Username Fueled System says, and I quote, Cody Rhodes will be in the headlining main event in a few months, just like the Pope.
On SmackDown?
Whoa.
Of course he will be.
So will Hornswoggle.
Be sure to check out a brand new episode of the Pro Wrestling Report Interactive TV, available now at PWRShow.com with myself, David Hero, and Linda Kay. Some interesting questions answered on that program, and we will have a brand new edition of the Pro Wrestling Report Primetime Television in Milwaukee right after SmackDown on Time Warner Cable and all over the world on demand at PWRShow.com.
I see you bobbing your head right now.
I'm bobbing my head like, I'm going to L.A., so I'm hopping on a plane at LAX next week.
West Hollywood.
Did you sing that when you were in L.A.? Ha! Wow! No, you heard about this sign, right? I got to go put my donation in to save the sign. This is the award-winning Pro Wrestling Report on 540 ESPN and ESPNMilwaukee.com. We'll see you next week.